Last Friday, September 5th, the YouTube page known as the Tolarian Community College posted a video about the upcoming Marvel Spider-Man set. Those of you who have been in the Magic community for more than 5 minutes know about the Tolarian Community College YouTube page and the guy who runs it, the professor. He, in this video, goes over several different reasons why he personally does not like the Spider-Man set and why he personally believes that it is bad for the health of the game. Frankly, I agree with him. He didn't say anything that I don't agree with in that video, and honestly, most of what he said is kind of what my issue has been with Universes Beyond from the start. Way back when Universes Beyond started, the very first set that was ever announced was The Walking Dead, and even back then, I knew what the ramifications of this could end up being, and look at that, we're here. Now, granted, I couldn't have predicted this exact set of circumstances, but my issue is the following, right? Well, I should say one of my issues is the following. Most of my issues with the Universes Beyond and the Spider-Man set, the professor covered all of that in his video, so I don't want to go over all of it again. Like, if you want to know that stuff, go watch his video. He's definitely better at explaining that stuff than I am. I'll tell you that much. But one thing that he didn't touch on, and I know why he didn't touch on this because he wanted to keep the video strictly about the Spider-Man set, right? He's there to talk just about the Spider-Man set. One thing I do wish he had touched on was Through the Omen Paths. Through the Omen Paths is this new magic product that's coming out, right? Because for whatever reason, we can't possibly know what the specifics behind it are, but for whatever reason, Wizards of the Coast could not get the licensing to put their Spider-Man set on Magic Arena or Magic Online. They couldn't. For whatever reason, they just could not get those rights. We don't know the specifics behind why. We don't know the specifics behind how the deal went down. We don't have any idea. All we know is that this is the way it is. So, how are they handling it? Instead, they are going to put another set on Magic Arena and Magic Online called Through the Omen Paths. This set is going to be mechanically identical to the Spider-Man set, right? It's going to have exactly the same number of cards, which I believe is 188. It is going to have all of the same mechanics. Every single card mechanic is going to be reprinted. You will have your Spider-Man, your Spider-Gwen, your this, that, and the other thing, the Infinity Stone. All that stuff is coming to Through the Omen Paths, but, because they don't have the Marvel Spider-Man licensing, they have decided to give the Through the Omen Paths different card names and different card arts. That is their solution to this. Rather than, I don't know, moving on to the next set like Avatar, which as far as I know, they do have the digital rights to, and it is coming to Magic Arena and Magic Online. No, we've decided to go and make it even more confusing for new players to get into this game, which is already a headache to freaking begin with. And now, if they decide to get into this set now with the Spider-Man set, and I don't know, if they start playing with their friends in the card format at the game shop, and they're like, I'd really like to play Magic on days other than Friday at my game shop with my friends. Maybe I should try Magic Online or Magic Arena. I really would love to play with my Spider-Man cards more. And then they log on to the online client and they see that there are no Spider-Man cards. There's no Spider-Punk. There's no Spider-Man 2099. There's no Miles Morales. There's no Spider-Gwen. There's none of that. You get none of that. On top of all the issues that this set has to begin with, which again, the professor covered quite eloquently, this is one of my biggest issues because one of the things the professor pointed out is the incredible quantity, shall I say, of Spider-Man in this set. There are, I don't know, 20 to 22 different versions of Spider-Man that have been introduced for this set, and I get it, right? Especially with Through the Multiverse having just been released, I don't know, within the last 5 years, and then it had a sequel within the last 2 to 3, I think. Like, they want to use all these Spider characters that people have seen, so I kind of get why they decided to go with things like Peter Porker, because he was in those movies, and comedically was one of the more beloved characters. Now, this is where it ties back into the Omen Path, because as I said, if you'll recall, every single card that was printed in Spider-Man, it does not matter. My cat is such a menace. Every single card, get away from my food. Every single card that is printed in the Spider-Man set is going to have a Through the Omen Path version with a different name and a different card art, right? But it's going to have all the same abilities and all the same like card types and everything, which means all of these cards that are coming out in the Spider-Man set that are spider hero or spider villain or like human spider hero or all these weird creature types, they are going to have a variant of that in Through the Omen path. So technically we're getting like 40 Spider-Man cards, like 40 different variation Spider-Man cards. Why? 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 Like, seriously, I know we wanted to try to keep this Spider-Man set like Spider-Man, right? I get that. And honestly, the biggest reason I can see why they didn't do what I'm about to suggest is because there are more Marvel sets coming, but like, honest to God, they could have put some crossover stuff in here. They seriously could have put, like, I don't know, some Tony Stark cards, because he has in the Spider-Man movies and even the Avengers movies, he has a lot to do with Spider-Man. He's really close to Spidey. Maybe they didn't put Tony Stark Iron Man in here. Maybe that's a little bit too far, but I don't know. Put some cards that have to do with heroes, that have to do with Spider-Man in the set. So it's, I don't know, so it makes more sense, and we don't have 40 Spider people running around in standard, like 40 brand new Spider people from the same freaking set. Like, I just this entire Spider-Man set has been a constant reminder of the terrible state that Hasbro has put the game into. And I mean, that's, at the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to for me personally, is I don't think Wizards of the Coast is making as many of these decisions as people think they are. Especially with Hasbro being the biggest toy company in the world, it's not like Wizards of the Coast can threaten to leave and go to somebody else for a bigger paycheck or whatever. Like, there's just, they don't have many options. They have to do whatever Hasbro wants them to do. So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place of doing what Hasbro wants them to do and doing what the fans want them to do and what's healthy for the game, right? But the problem is they keep deciding to go with Hasbro, or in many cases, the IP. If you haven't seen my video from last Friday about Vivi in Standard, that's a great example of what I'm talking about. They're probably going to ban Agatha Soul Cauldron and not Vivi because they care more about the IP and the relationship with Square Enix than they do the actual health of the game. And this is just another example of that. They care more about putting the Spider-Man set out so that they can make money off of it than they do making sure it's actually a quality set. That's all we're asking for. Like, seriously, take a little bit of thought, put it into the lore, make the stories better, make the characters make more sense. It's literally there's a blueprint for it. Old Magic. Look at the Mirrodin block. Look at the Innistrad block. Look at stuff that came before that. Like, there, even Ravnica and Return to Ravnica, they had some pretty solid stuff. Yeah, there was some goofiness with Jace that I personally don't love, but give and take. I'm not gonna love everything, but this is a whole new nightmare that none of us deserve to put up with. None of us deserve to put up with this. I feel particularly bad for brand new players who are trying to get into this game during this rotation, and they realize that in order to play online and in paper, you have to memorize, or at least be aware of the fact that there are two different sets of cards for this set, which, if you're a casual player, that's probably not that big of a deal. But if you get more serious about it and you want to, like, take into account what cards are being used in Standard the most, take into account what you should be counter building for, take into account this, like, should I be counting this many kill spells? Should I be taking this, that, or the other thing? Memorizing what's being used in your format is a large part of deck building, right? So if you want to play both online and offline like I do, you have to memorize two different sets of cards or be a casual player. And I'm not very casual. I'm also not the only one like this, right? Like, there are several people out there who play both online and offline, and now that I have to memorize that there is both a Spider-Punk character and an alternative online version of Spider-Punk that isn't named Spider-Punk, what? Why are we printing 400 new cards that are all copies of one another? I mean, I guess we're not printing one set of them, but still, this is so much effort and so much art and so much money on a second digital set. Frankly, if they had just skipped the Spider-Man set, we could have skipped this whole debacle entirely. And I know they were never going to skip the Spider-Man set. Are you kidding me? It's Marvel. Marvel is money. I mean, look at the franchise. Ever since the first Iron Man movie came out, that franchise has been huge. So, yeah, skipping the Spider-Man set was never going to happen. As soon as somebody at Marvel even was like, "Oh yeah, totally, we could do IPs with Magic the Gathering," that was it. That was it. That's all Hasbro cared about at that point was the dollar signs. I don't know. I really don't know what to do at this point because the way this product was presented, the way Through the Omen Paths was presented online, is basically that this is going to be the way they handle any other IPs that they get a deal with that they can't secure digital licenses for. And based on the fact that Disney has a card game already, their own card game called Lorcana, and I believe they have a separate online card game, the next 4 Marvel sets that are coming out, there's a good chance that each one is going to be released with an associated Through the Omen Paths, and I very highly doubt it stops at Marvel. It's going to be whatever other IPs they have deals with that they can't secure digital licenses for. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Things like if they ever decide to do other Disney products, right? Square Enix could limit them if they decided to do like a Kingdom Hearts set or something. Blizzard could even do it if they decided to do like a Blizzard set where they did a bunch of World of Warcraft and Overwatch cards. Now, part of me hopes none of these sets ever come to pass, but then again, I did hope Universes Beyond would never come to pass, and I've kind of accepted that this is just kind of the way it is now. But this Spider-Man set is taking the game in a direction that it's not healthy. It's not healthy for the game. It's not healthy for getting new players into the game. It's Magic is my favorite game, and I don't want to see it fall apart. I really don't. I hate complaining about all the things that I complain about all the time. I do, but this is a serious issue. Like this is a big problem that could in the long run destroy the game. And I don't want to see that happen, and I know I'm not the only one. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it for you taking the time to watch the whole video. If you got this far, please do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate it so much. I'm always streaming on Twitch every few days, doing some Magic the Gathering Arena, and I've got a couple of different socials on my main YouTube page you can check out as well if you're interested. Thank you so much, and see you later, my darling donuts.